Hey guys, welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, and today we're going to be looking at the latest individual poll from these battleground states. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe if you want more content just like this. And so, looking at the state of Nevada, this state went to President Biden in the previous election by 2.4 percentage points. Looking at the latest poll from the state of Nevada, we can see that in this poll, Patriot Polling, with about 800 registered voters from September 1st to the 3rd, found a 47% to 47% for both candidates, which is an even result. On this channel, we usually look at the previous poll to basically categorize it as tilt. If it's even, I put it in the tilt column, and we look at the previous poll to give it the categorization. And since Donald Trump is leading the previous poll, we are going to put it in the tilt Republican column, giving Donald Trump 6 electoral college votes. Looking at the state of Arizona, this is a state Biden narrowly won in the previous election, where the 538 average did overestimate Joe Biden by around 2 percentage points. And looking at the state of Arizona, we're going to be able to see that Donald Trump is polling better than what he was back then. And looking at this poll, we see that it is also going to be a tilt margin. And the previous poll was a Trump plus 2 margin. Looking at the likely voter screen with 949 likely voters from September 3rd to the 5th, we see Donald Trump is tied with Weston Stein also included. That is going to put the state in the tilt Republican column, giving Donald Trump 11 electoral college votes. Looking at the state of New Mexico, Biden easily won the state by 11 points rounded back in the 2020 presidential election. However, I expect the state to be far more competitive than what it was before. And looking at the next poll from the state of New Mexico, we haven't had a lot of polling from here, but we do see the latest poll is a Harris plus 7 matchup, with Harris at 47% to Trump's 40%. Conducted by Redfield and Wilton Strategies, with about 488 likely voters from August 25th to the 28th. So that is going to go in the likely Democrat column, giving Harris 5 electoral college votes. Looking at Nebraska second, this is a district Biden won by 7 when you round it out back in 2020, and has been moving to the left ever since 2008. And so now looking at that Nebraska 2nd Congressional District, the latest poll from Survey USA does have a Harris plus 5 result, so it's a slight improvement from Trump. Harris 47% to Trump's 42%, about 500 registered voters from August 23rd to the 27th. We can put that in the likely Democrat column, granting Harris an extra electoral college vote. Looking at the state of Minnesota, this is going to be another interesting state. We can see the latest poll does have a Harris plus 5 result from Survey USA, with about 635 likely voters from August 27th to the 29th. Funny enough, the month prior, the poll actually, with very similar, sample size, the same screen, same pollster a month back, actually had Harris up 10 points in Minnesota. So that's quite funny that after she picked Walz, who's from Minnesota, as her VP, the lead essentially cut in half. So that is kind of hilarious. And now looking at that, that does put the state in the likely Democrat column, giving Harris 10 electoral college votes. Both candidates are now over 200 electoral college votes. Looking at the state of Wisconsin, the polling errors here tend to be pretty abysmal. This is a state that Joe Biden won by a tilt margin, while the average was an 8-point lead for him. That is a pretty abysmal polling error. And now looking at the average, it is about 2.8%, but the latest poll does actually have about a Harris plus 2 result. Is a YouGov poll with about 946 likely voters from September 3rd to the 6th. So that is going to put the state in the lean Democrat column for this video. Looking at the state of Michigan, we can go to that state now, and we can see that again, a huge sampling bias there from 2020, and it is now a 1.9 percentage point lead for Harris in our average, or 538's average. And we can see with about 1,000 likely voters from YouGov September 3rd to the 6th, it is a Harris plus 1 result. So we are going to be putting that in the lean Democrat column, which now gets Harris to 232 electoral college votes. The state of Pennsylvania is going to be the tipping point state and will be the most important state of the 2024 presidential election. The latest YouGov result, with about 1,100 likely voters from September 3rd to the 6th, does have about a tied result. So looking at the previous poll, it was a Trump plus 1 poll. So we are going to be putting that in the tilt Republican column, which does help Trump's chances at winning the Electoral College in this video, getting him to 255 electoral college votes. He could take Virginia, North Carolina, or Georgia and become the next president of the United States. Now, looking at the state of Virginia, we will see the latest polls actually have the state relatively competitive, and we've actually had pollsters that have been accurate before in the state that have polled, especially Roanoke and Qantas, and we see that Roanoke actually has a +3 lead for Harris when you include a full field, and that was before Kennedy even dropped out, and so that may actually be a pretty big problem for Kamala Harris. If a lot of Kennedy support went to Donald Trump, it is a big possibility Virginia may flip that night. Looking at Harris's latest poll from Qantas, however, it is a 3-point lead with just a head-to-head matchup with about 630 registered voters from August 20th to the 22nd. That's going to put the state in the lean Democrat column, bringing Harris up to 245 electoral college votes. Looking at the state of North Carolina now, we will see in the latest poll Donald Trump does have a 1-point lead from FAU with about 619 likely voters from September 5th to the 6th. So this does put the state in the lean Republican column and does give Donald Trump the electoral college with 271 electoral college votes, making him the next president of the United States. Filling out just Georgia, New Hampshire, and Maine left, looking at the state of Georgia, I believe we have another FAU poll out of the state, and it does have about a Trump +2 lead with about 564 likely voters from September 5th to the 6th, and so we can put that in the lean Republican column, which brings Trump up to 287 in the Electoral College. A lot of professional pollsters believe that this is the pathway for him to win. However, I don't really think this would be the case. Pennsylvania always polls to the right of Wisconsin and Michigan and ends up always being the second bluest state. So that is quite interesting to see there. Looking at Maine at large, we will see the latest poll from the state actually has a huge lead for Harris. However, when I readjusted in my polling average, it is a way lesser of a lead. It is only about a 2 to 3 point lead instead of +17. So it is about 951 likely voters from August 15th to the 19th. So that is going to be in the safe Democrat column as of right now for Kamala Harris in the final state, that being of New Hampshire. When we go to the final poll here, we can see the latest poll does have a Harris +5 result with 2,000 likely voters from August 15th to the 19th from the University of New Hampshire Survey Center. So when we fill out the entire map, Donald Trump wins the election with 287 electoral college votes to Harris's 251 electoral college votes. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe if you want more content just like this, and I will see you guys in the next video.